Welcome to Get the Universe Working for You. I had to use the universal laws to get myself working again to create this live video for you. I'm changing my patterns. I am creating more flow when I communicate online in Facebook. So if I was to look at this again universally, where are the blocks in me that cause the blocks in me trying to communicate with you? That would kind of be the message in these attempts for me to communicate a message that frees you. So today is about finding your self-worth. How do you really get your self-worth? And how do you have that feeling inside you so that you're free, that you're walking around loving yourself? Well, those answers will come in the next 20 to 30 minutes. And you will have a plan that will progress you to building your self-worth, because self-worth, when you have great self-worth, you change your attractions. You change the way you interact with people. You change your relationships. You change everything, because the universe will respond to you of things that are good for you if you love yourself, yeah? Great. Well, first of all, measure your self-worth. What level of self-worth do you have? Measure it out of 10. Some people have different self-worth. When they go to work, they might go, I feel really worthy at work, but in my relationships, I don't feel as worthy. Average out this self-worth. Average out how you feel about yourself outside of work, outside of your relationships. What are you saying to yourself? What's going on in your head? Because that's going to indicate how you view yourself. Are you negative? Are you comparing yourself? Are you saying, is that good enough? Am I enough? Well, analyze what self-talk you have when you look at yourself in the mirror, when you are just having a quiet conversation with yourself. It normally shows up in relationships. It normally shows up with the people who are around you. Now, you will have the average self-worth of those people around you. So check out your friends, check out the people around you, and average out their self-worth, because that will be a reflection of you. You become, and the people around you, and also like attracts like. And if you look around, you'll see how people partner up with people like themselves. You have friends that are similar to you, similar interests, similar level of self-worth. So that's a great way to measure what you think of yourself. All right, so let's move on to where your low self-worth came from. Here in Forensic Healing, which is where I am now at 7-day live training in Melbourne, we look at childhood, we look at how we were programmed. So take a look at your mother, take a look at your father, and their relationship will show you. So if you're watching this and you're female, then you're going to role model off your mother generally, okay? And if your mother is not respecting herself and putting herself second, that will create the way that you need to view yourself as a child. You'll go, okay, that's how I'm supposed to operate. I'm supposed to put my needs last. That is, I love my mother, and that's the only, not that even you say I want to be like her, it's like that's all you know. You just model yourself off those relationships. And then if you go to school, and if you're bullied and ostracized, that's going to affect your self-worth. So you've got to start looking at all these aspects of how you're programmed. Yeah? When I didn't have any self-worth, just for your information, so I've had to work through this whole process. But when I was 22, I was working in this advertising agency, and there's this girl there. And I would look at her in awe. She wasn't attractive by, if you were to socially, or if people wouldn't look at her and go, you know what, she's an attractive girl. She'd probably be called unattractive if, if you were to look at her physically. I used to look at her in awe. I used to think, oh my God, how do you love yourself so much? Because I didn't have any self-worth at 22, and I used to think if I was skinny enough, if I was pretty enough, if I was always this enough, I'd always compare myself. And I go, here is a girl that wouldn't be considered that attractive and loves herself. She's not basing it on how she looks. How does she do that? And I asked her, I said, how do you do that? How do you love yourself like that? And you know what? She turned around and she said, well, my daddy always told me I was beautiful. And she was beautiful. I used to see her heart and her soul, and it radiated because her father saw that in her, and she would radiate that. And she didn't compare herself to others and didn't feel inadequate in that way. And I'm not saying she didn't have those moments of probably lacking some self-worth, but to her core, she radiated this beauty, and this beauty came from her father telling her when she's a child, you are beautiful. And I never forgot that story, and I loved that story. Because I always used to look at people, how do they love themselves so much? Because I so didn't have it. And I loved looking at people like that. I loved their energy. So it's just another indication of all those words that are said to you in childhood remain your program, remain your blueprint. And it's about reversing it, and it's about taking off those words. So to do that, it can be painful. It can be, it's painful looking back at what people have said to you. Now, all those patterns and programs will show up today. So you need to be in relationships to see your level of self-worth, because if you want to isolate yourself, some people go, oh, I'm not in a relationship, and I keep away from them, then they won't challenge themselves, because your relationship with somebody else is going to be your benchmark of your level of self-worth. So if you're not getting respect around you from your children, from your husband, or if you're a guy, your wife, or your friends, or your colleagues, anybody, if you're not seeing self-respect, then the old adage, as Dr. Phil will say, you teach people how to treat you. Well, they're going to be your benchmark, so they're great for you. They are showing you that you need to change, because your inner worth is what goes in this jar. Now, this jar here is what we used at Get the Universe Working for You on the weekend, and we said to change the word, that the universe vibrates on not what you say, but what is in the jar. So if you have low self-worth, it's by a vibration that it will respond to you. No matter how angry or mad you get at people, or no matter what you say, it's a vibration. But it does start with getting uncomfortable. You want more, you got to be more. You got to get uncomfortable, because it would be, if I said to you, you are now to change the dance with those people around you, with your husband, with your kids, with your family, with your friends, with your work colleagues, and start asking them or requiring them to respect you. And if you don't also have a consequence or an action that you're going to take if you don't get it, then sometimes it can mean nothing. Like for kids, for instance, if you don't say, I'm going to require you to respect me, but you need to have a consequence. Otherwise, well, whatever. Is it, no toys? Is it no playtime? Whatever it is. Same goes for people. That means that if they don't respect you, then you need to move them further away from your energy field. Whatever plan you have, but you need a plan. Because I have come to realize if I reward bad behavior, people who treat me badly, and I go back and I keep allowing it, then I am putting energy into bad behavior. I am teaching them that it's okay to treat me that way, which is what I used to. I didn't even know had zero self-worth, so I didn't even know they were treating me badly. People had to tell me, those people aren't very nice to you, Marisa. I had no clue. Well, if you want to know, so if you're like me and have no clue of how people are treating you, try this. Look at yourself. Look at your interactions, be clear about how people are interacting, and then say, if that was my best friend, would I be telling her she needs to be respected more? If that was my daughter or son, would I say you're okay to be treated like that? And if you say no, that's not acceptable for a friend or for your children, then you've got to say it's not acceptable to you. When you get and understand that energy that goes in if someone's disrespected you and that energy goes in your energy field, then you're going to carry it around and you're actually inviting more of the same. You're saying, yeah, I like being disrespected, because you're choosing it. So the universe will go, no worries, I've got plenty of people that I can send over to you that will disrespect you. And that's where you got to get uncomfortable. That's where you've got to decide to tell people, go, you know what? This is how I want to have a relationship. I respect you, you respect me. And then if that doesn't happen, then things are going to change. Okay, so you might be uncomfortable, and I've had people in my workshops going, oh no, I could never say that. And I'd even role play it, and they couldn't even do it in a role play. Well, if you couldn't say it, even in a role play, then I would say that you want to stay the same. But try the role play, because the role plays, they're not even there. Those people, you start having a dialogue with them when they're not there. So you are sending out the message out into the ethers, but you're also preparing yourself. You can say, let's say you've got, a husband. You'll go, look, I require you to be respectful and talk to me politely. I don't appreciate how you speak to me. And I would like you to say this to me, please, when you ask for something. I'd like you to be grateful for what I do. I would like you not to yell at me. I'd like you to speak in a nice term. And you state what you want. It's not just go, don't be mean to me. You say, I want you to say, thank you. You tell them in detail how it's going to work, so they are clear. You need the clarity. You can't be vague about it. The same with kids. Kids, don't be mean to me. You got to say, all right, this is what I'd like you to do. When I hand you some food, you are to be polite and to thank me for the meal that I've just put before you. You are to ask nicely for anything that you want. You are to, if I've asked you to do something, you need to do it straight away and not kick up a fuss. Because if you kick up a fuss, then you will be not even doing it. And when you train them when they're younger to be respectful in that way, as for a child, then you will maintain that respect. It's kind of similar to when I was at school and it was Form 3. That was my rebellious years. That's what the year that I go. That was, okay, for those youngies that are watching, Form 3 is year 9. Okay, so year 9, I'm in school and we have a nun come and teach us. And it was probably, I don't even know if it was one of her first years of teaching, have no clue, but the poor woman, I was in a very rebellious class and I joined the rebellious people. Well, she couldn't control us. And the more she couldn't control us, the worse we got. And she was doing a test and we're cheating and everything. And then she's like getting all flustered and she says, oh, we're just going to start the test again. You know what we did? We screwed up our paper and threw it at her. Well, she almost had a heart attack trying to teach us. And she never forgets that year, and she tells everyone that came after how bad we were. I think the word got out that we were so bad that when the French teacher came in, she was like, ran it like military style. And she was like, as soon as you said boo, she sent you down to the headmaster's room. So we sat there thinking, oh, we got to really behave. And you wouldn't think we were the same class, because she had complete control of us, and she was particularly hard on us because I realized we behaved, but it was later during the year that she got more lenient. She relaxed a little, but I reckon word got out. So she thought, right, I'm going in hard. And we always behaved ourselves because we didn't dare. We watched what consequences, but we were the same class. And my sister, who followed years after me in that same class, who got that same teacher, she said she was scarred with the bad reputation that I'd left. It wasn't because I was part of that group, because she still repeats that story, that poor nun who almost had a nervous breakdown. Again, it's looking at your childhood and recognizing what you've allowed and what was okay is now not okay. So this is really, it's a powerful analogy to look at that childhood and then look at today, and it is a process. Don't think that I can just hand you a jar of self-worth, here you go. I'd be a millionaire, I'd be multi-millionaire if I go, here you go, drink this and you'll have your self-worth. Your self-worth will evolve you spiritually. Your self-worth will make you find yourself. The other thing is self-worth. I can tell you your self-worth by you telling me what you put inside here. What are you putting inside here? That will tell me your self-worth. What sort of foods you eat? Are they good for you? What sort of people you surround yourself with? What sort of things you read? What do you do courses, or do you actually go and get therapies? Whatever you're putting in here, inside you, will show me your level of self-worth and the quality. Because some people, will settle for something that's like, say, oh, I won't buy that for myself, or I buy something really cheap, yet they'll pay for something more expensive for a friend or something. The quality and of what you put into your energy field will tell me your level of self-worth. Those people that say, you know what, I respect myself, I want something that's high quality, I want to invest in me, then that energy, you're walking around with that energy. Everything begins with energy, and it's reflecting on every choice, every thought. So let's work out some things to shift your self-worth. And I teach this in GTU, Get the Universe Working For You, also in 7-day live training. This concept, everybody's going to reflect to you what you need to change. So if you're getting disrespect, you're going to need to say, okay, I need to go in. Thanks for reminding me to love and respect myself, is what you say to yourself. And if you say it over and over and over, you're just reminding me to respect myself if that's what I'm getting. And you program yourself. And after a while, you're loving yourself. And I've met those people that love themselves, and I've asked them about their childhood, and they haven't, and they will usually go back to, they had a great childhood, their parents loved them. And you see it in them. People that love themselves don't blame others. They don't take things personally. They're really good to be around because they just love themselves, and they're not blaming others, or they're sort of whole and balanced. And that's the objective. Yeah? When you stop blaming someone else and go, okay, well, this is part of my creation. And then you've got all the power. Well then, I'm not sure if you've got any questions about your self-worth or about your blocks. And I'll tell you one thing. There's one thing that I can always notice. I find in people that lack that self-worth or lack things missing in their life, guess what they do to find their self-worth? Guess what they do? What they do is they will go and try and give it to other people. They will try and give it to their children. They'll be giving and giving outwardly because they're empty inside here, and they don't look in. And they go, if I give that to them, if I help that person, or if I help my children, if I give them things that they need, they think they need, it's only because they're empty inside. So if you're a real giver and you love to give out and you love to help, you love to be responsible, all of those things, you need to stop, because that will make you feel uncomfortable. If you can be okay with going, you know what, I'm not going to give for a month, who would you be? Like, where's your identity? If you can feel okay about that, then, and you will struggle through that. Yeah, that's you, Robin. Give, give, give. Yeah, in fact, it's because you weren't given to yourself, that you actually need to give inside. So when you can become comfortable about giving nothing, you can be comfortable with breathing and just being alive and going, well, you know, what's not to love without you having to give anything? You're there. You've not got any, it's unconditional love. There's no criteria. You're not saying, I'm lovable because I've helped that person. I'm lovable because I'm a kind person. No, you're lovable because you're a beautiful soul. You just were born that way. You don't have to have a reason. I'm lovable just because. And of course, if you're doing bad things, if you love yourself, you'll be connected, and you won't be harming others. So it kind of like goes together. It's not things that aren't in denial, but the more you love yourself, the kinder you are to people energetically as well, because you radiate love. All right, got another thing for you. You can't love someone else until you love you. Right? So you will love, you can't. You think you're loving them, but you're not, because you're not loving you. You can't give out something that's not inside you. The most beautiful gift you can give to any person on this planet, your greatness is the love that you have for yourself, because that will radiate out. You will love people and heal them by your love, because you can love them more. So the more you love yourself, the bigger the gift you are to the planet. It's not by how much you're giving out without having anything to give. So that's hard to do, isn't it? To go, you know what, I'm worth it, because you're always taught, go be a savior, go serve, go give selflessly. You can give if you've got it to give. When you've got it, you can give. But unless you have it, then you're emptying yourself out. All right, so let's do a little reconnection healing. Let's get ourselves nicely aligned to close off this. Get the universe working for you on how to have self-love. And because I was teaching, we've just been doing the giving back fragments, because if you overgive, you give away your soul fragments too. So then you can feel someone else has got part of you. But let's do a love and light immersion pathway so everyone can experience this. We've got some of the students here, so watching this as well. So we'll go to that place of filling ourselves up. So imagine the presence of angels and guides surrounding you, enveloping you. Feel yourself experiencing their desire to heal you. Feel yourself in a place where you are safe, a place where you can feel peace, a place where you feel love. Go to those moments. Imagine a large green mountain overlooking other rolling mountains with your arms outstretched. Feel the wind and sun energize your body. Imagine the freedom of being connected to the earth, and the energies of the blue sky vibrate through every cell of your body. Outstretch your arms and let yourself fall back on the long, thick green grass that cushions you. Look up to that never-ending blue sky and feel the rays of the warm sun over your entire body. Imagine the freedom and the peace. Now imagine the people who have supported you, those who have cared and loved you, family, friends, children, animals, nature, now in your presence. Look at their faces and feel their love heal you. Feel it fill your heart. Experience the power of what love can do and the power of healing that it has. Hear the messages they have come to give you, which is, you are more than you could ever imagine. If only you knew how much you are loved. Now thank them for their love and support. Look again at all those people who have sent you love. Now imagine all the love you have ever given them. Now fill your heart with this love. Send this love to your heart and feel love for yourself. This is who you really are. This is who you are here to be. This is what you are meant to experience. Now choose to be this love. You are love. Taking a deep breath in, and as you breathe in gratitude. And as you breathe out love. So thank you for joining me on Get the Universe Working For You. I look forward to connecting with you soon. If you want to hang out, come to my website, forensichealing.com, or I'll see you at an event somewhere, sometime. Blessings and love always.